There's no chance.
It looks like so hard to get, but any of you guys can reach that physique too.
Bodybuilding is a game of discipline, self-awareness, and sacrifices. People who bodybuild forego many of the luxuries in life that normal people can afford to indulge in with little sacrifice. Being a bodybuilder is a lifestyle that requires mental, emotional, and, physical strength in order to succeed. Let's see these mass monsters struggling to do everyday regular tasks. Number 7. Bodybuilder struggles to fit in clothes. Being a bodybuilder and all, attaining swoleness, mass, and sheer muscle is a way of life. Thus, fitting into clothing that is going to restrict movement and mobility is something you deal with daily. No one likes to see a dude with some tight khakis, let alone someone who rips their shirts every time they scratch their back or try to comb their hair. This huge bodybuilder is having a bit of trouble getting a shirt on, and with a monster-sized body like that, who can be surprised? This brings us to another point. Finding clothes that are proportionate to the mass is something that takes time and patience. After all, having biceps that are 18 inches in diameter is no small feat to accomplish, natty or not. On a side note, we wonder how all the Synthol freaks get their clothing over their elongated muscles every time they get dressed. Number 6. Giant struggling to reach his back. Combing your hair, scratching your back, or even face palming has become a duty for bodybuilders, specifically right after a torturous arm workout. Have a back scratch? Better find a corner wall or someone to give it a whirl, because it's not going to happen with those biceps at that size. This bodybuilder is having trouble getting a sticky piece of paper off his back while all his buddies have a good laugh. Number 5. Giant bodybuilder struggles to fit into an airplane. Just as the more fat you have, the less space you have in showers, seats, and small places. The same goes for if you're too muscular. It can be hard to get your legs under tables, reach the entirety of your body to clean in the bath or shower, and fit into seats on trains, airplanes, cars, and buses. Our next bodybuilder is Eddie Hall, the 2017 World's Strongest Man. He shared a video of himself getting into a plane to head to Scotland. Hall posted on his YouTube channel his journey from the airport to Scotland for Scotland's Strongest Man Expo. Before the trip could even get going though, Hall ran into a bit of a problem. He couldn't fit into the airplane seat, even just looking at the plane before getting inside. In the video, Hall tries to actually sit into the seat and ends up plopping down on top of the armrests. No chance. He then goes to try out a non-armchair seat and doesn't fit either. He physically bounces up and down to try and squeeze into the seat and shows a facial expression of utter pain. The flight attendant ends up allowing Hall to snag 2 seats and make himself comfortable. Nothing about it looks comfortable though. Eddie Hall is 6'3" and weighs around 370 pounds. The average legroom on planes is around 31 inches, and you don't have to be a math whiz to figure out that Hall probably runs into these problems quite frequently.
There's no chance.
Number 4. Big guy can't get around a plane. Brian Shaw is a big guy, 6'8" and 435 pounds to be precise. In 2011, he became the first man to win the Arnold Strongman Classic and the World's Strongest Man contests in the same year. As you might expect, getting around can pose some difficulties for a man of Brian's stature. To illustrate this, Shaw brought a camera on board a recent plane journey to demonstrate how getting around planes isn't exactly a walk in the park for tall people. The video captures Shaw boarding the plane, walking down the cramped aisle and trying to get into his seat. Everything is made for normal-sized people, and this means everything is uncomfortable for bodybuilders. Desks are too low, chairs are too small in every dimension, sofas are too low and short, kitchen surfaces are way too low, and even toilets are too low. It's like living in the land of children. Planes are no exception. Number 3. World's tallest bodybuilder can't fit car. Guinness World Records has named a Dutch athlete who measures 7 feet 1.9 inches tall as the world's tallest professional bodybuilder. Richters admitted that he was hesitant to accept the title of the world's tallest bodybuilder at first because he mostly works as a fitness model and movie actor, but he eventually agreed after Guinness established separate categories for competitive and non-competition bodybuilders. The Dutch giant made his big screen debut as Ursa in Marvel's Black Widow, But all the fame in the world can't save him from some everyday struggles that come with being this huge. Some cars are way off limits for people like this bodybuilder. You'd think because of the inadequate legroom, but a lot of the time it's because of the head height. There isn't any. Watch him struggle to fit into this car.
Oh, there. Oh, it's. I can't even.
Number 2. Bodybuilder struggles to take off shirt. Having more muscle mass is generally considered a good thing. After all, the more muscles you have, the more calories you burn, the less likely you are to get injured. The more potential for the strength you have and the better you look. However, could this actually be detrimental? Are there any disadvantages to having too much muscle? And should being as big as possible really be your goal? This next clip surely proves being as huge as possible is not the best goal. This bodybuilder is having problems removing his shirt during training and needs assistance from a nearby individual to accomplish this simple task. A man so powerful, but in a moment like that, he was completely helpless. Huge bodybuilders, powerlifters, strong men, and athletes all have one thing in common. That is that everyday easy things we take for granted aren't as easy for them. Number 1. Bodybuilder ripped suit. Many clothing outlets nowadays create clothing for skinnier individuals, as that seems to be the trend. Not many people are actually trying to gain weight, as the focus tends to be on losing fat. This can make it extremely difficult to find clothing if you're even slightly bigger than normal. Not to mention, even if you do manage to find clothing that suits your size, you'll have much less of a range to choose from. This is especially true for formal attire, as many suits are built for skinnier individuals. Any larger clothing will be a different fit because they're made for those with a big stomach, not big arms. This can cause the fit to become loose, awkward, and unappealing overall. Therefore, you'll have to get suits, shirts, and trousers specifically tailored, increasing the cost of these already expensive items. The bodybuilder in this clip is struggling to find a suit that fits him properly, and when he tried one on, he ends up ripping it to shreds with one pull. Life can throw us some major curveballs, and oftentimes it just looks way too difficult to solve. This can't be any more true for bodybuilders, just trying to live their day-to-day lives.
I don't know. Yes and no. So what I'm trying to, all right, arm straight back behind you. Whoop. There you go, you good?
Okay.
That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you another time.
Oh, sino ka baga? Tapia? Hala, toka? Tokyo tamaga mo sama.
There's no chance.